Most of the Avengers Doomsday characters have been revealed, but there are still a lot of characters that haven't been officially announced, even though we know they exist. So the real question is, out of all of them, who is the strongest? That's what I'm going to explain right now. Before we start, if you want more videos like this and you want to support the channel, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. At number 25, we have Mystique. Now look, Mystique is dangerous in her own way, there's no question about that. But her power isn't about raw strength or massive energy blast. She's a shapeshifter and a master spy. She can become literally anyone, infiltrate any location, and manipulate people without them even realizing what's happening. The problem is, when it comes to an actual fight against heavy hitters, she doesn't have much to offer. She can't punch through vibranium, she can't blast through force fields. She's not throwing down with God. In a world full of cosmic beings and monsters, Mystique survives by being smart and sneaky, not by being powerful. That's why she starts us off at the bottom of this list. At number 24, we have Black Panther, specifically Shuri's version. Now, Shuri is a genius. She's arguably one of the smartest people on the entire planet, and with the Black Panther suit, she has access to vibranium technology that can absorb kinetic energy and redirect it back at her enemies. That's a serious advantage in a lot of fights. But here's the thing, she's still relatively new to the whole superhero game. She doesn't have the years of combat experience that T'Challa built up over his lifetime, and while the tech is incredible, it can only take her so far against the heavier threats on this list. She's a strong hero, absolutely, but against cosmic level characters or reality warpers, she gets outscaled way too fast. At number 23, we have the Thing. Ben Grimm is a tank, pure and simple. He's made of orange rock, he's incredibly durable, and he can hit like an absolute truck. In a straight up brawl, he can hang with some of the strongest characters in all of Marvel. He's taken hits from the Hulk and kept fighting. He's gone toe to toe with some seriously powerful threats. But the Thing's weakness is that he's kind of one-dimensional. He doesn't have energy projection. He doesn't have super speed. He doesn't have any fancy tricks. He's a brawler through and through. And against anyone who can fight from a distance or has powers beyond just punching, he's going to struggle eventually. Still, in terms of pure physical toughness, Ben Grimm absolutely deserves respect. At number 22, we have Mr. Fantastic. Reed Richards is the smartest man alive, and that's really not an exaggeration. His stretchy powers are useful for sure, but they're not what makes him truly dangerous. What makes him dangerous is his brain. He can invent things that literally change the fabric of reality. He can plan around almost any situation if you give him enough time. In a prep time battle, he's honestly one of the scariest people you could ever face. But in a straight fight with no prep, his stretching abilities are good for utility and control, not for raw damage. He can restrain opponents and dodge attacks pretty well, but he's not going to overpower a god with rubber arms. That's his limit. At number 21, we have Human Torch. Johnny Storm is pure firepower, literally. He can generate and control flames at absolutely insane temperatures. We're talking about heat that can melt through almost anything you put in front of him. When he goes Nova, he basically becomes a walking explosion capable of massive destruction. That's a ton of offensive potential right there. The problem is durability. Johnny hits hard offensively, but if you can get past his flames or catch him by surprise, he goes down. He's also been outmatched by characters with fire immunity or cosmic level defenses. But in terms of pure damage output at this level of the list, he's definitely one of the best. At number 20, we have Shang-Chi. Now, Shang-Chi was already one of the greatest martial artists in the entire world before he got his power up. But when you add the 10 rings into the equation, he becomes something else entirely. Those rings give him power that borders on the supernatural. He can fire energy blasts, create protective shields, and enhance his physical abilities to superhuman levels. He went toe-to-toe with the Dweller in Darkness and actually won that fight. That's absolutely no joke. But the 10 rings, as powerful as they are, aren't quite cosmic level yet. Against true heavy hitters, he's going to be outmatched eventually. Still, he's a massive threat to almost anyone in hand-to-hand combat. At number 19, we have Cyclops. Scott Summers is the leader of the X-Men, and he earned that position for a reason. His optic blasts are not just simple lasers like some people think. They're concussive force beams that come from another dimension entirely. That means they literally don't run out. He has an unlimited power source behind his eyes at all times. When Cyclops lets loose without holding back, he can level buildings, punch through heavy armor, and hold back some of the strongest mutants in existence. He's also a tactical genius and an incredible battlefield leader. But his power does have limits. He can be overwhelmed by faster opponents or characters with absolutely insane durability. Still, never underestimate Cyclops. He's way more dangerous than casual fans give him credit for. At number 18, we have Iron Man. Tony Stark is back, and depending on which suit he's wearing, he's anywhere from street level to cosmic level threat. We've seen him build armor specifically designed to fight the Hulk. We've seen him create nanotech that adapts in real time to whatever he's facing. And if we're talking about comic book potential, he's built suits that can rival celestial beings. But here's the thing, without the suit, Tony is just a regular genius human. And even with the suit, he can be outscaled by magic, by reality warping, and by characters who simply have more raw power than technology can handle. Iron Man is incredibly versatile, but he definitely has a ceiling that others on this list simply don't have. At number 17, we have Namor. The Submariner is one of the very first mutants ever, and he's an absolute powerhouse. Super strength, the ability to fly, underwater breathing, and the power to command the oceans themselves. When he's in the water, he's almost completely unbeatable. Even on land, he's gone against the Hulk, Thor, and even the entire Avengers team at various points. His massive ego is probably his biggest weakness, but his power is absolutely undeniable. Namor is a king and a warrior, and when he fights at full strength, very few characters can actually match him in a physical confrontation. He's a top-tier threat and a true force of nature. And now we're getting into the really dangerous ones. At number 16, we have Invisible Woman, Sue Storm. A lot of people seriously underestimate Sue because her power sounds so simple on paper. Invisibility and force fields, that's it, right? But let me tell you something. Sue Storm is actually one of the most powerful members of the Fantastic Four when she cuts loose. Her force fields can block almost anything thrown at them. She can create them inside people and expand them. She can crush enemies or contain massive explosions without breaking a sweat. She's held back cosmic level attacks before, and invisibility means you literally can't hit what you can't see coming. Sue is incredibly versatile and incredibly powerful in the right situations. She's a defensive and offensive monster, and she absolutely deserves this spot on the list. At number 15, we have Deadpool. Wade Wilson is basically unkillable, and that's his whole entire thing. He has a healing factor that rivals Wolverine's, and some people argue it might even surpass it in certain ways. He's been decapitated, burned to a crisp, blown completely apart, and he just keeps coming back for more. And now that he's officially part of the MCU, we've seen him fight across the entire multiverse and survive. He's chaotic, completely unpredictable, and almost impossible to put down permanently. His weakness is that he can't really hurt the truly top-tier characters on this list. He's absolutely great at surviving anything, but against reality warpers or actual gods, he's just not winning that fight. He's just not dying either, though. At number 14, we have Wolverine. Logan is an absolute legend in the Marvel Universe. Adamantium skeleton, claws that can cut through almost anything in existence, and a healing factor that saved him from certain death more times than anyone could possibly count. He's gone up against the Hulk multiple times, fought Sabretooth in countless battles, and survived things that would instantly kill any other mutant. But Wolverine does have weaknesses that can be exploited. Magneto can literally tear the metal from his bones, powerful telepaths can shut his mind down completely, and against cosmic level threats, he's honestly just out of his league. But if you need someone who will absolutely never quit and will keep fighting until the very bitter end, Wolverine is your guy every single time. At number 13, we have Hulk. And this is where things get genuinely terrifying. Hulk is not just strong. Hulk is potentially the strongest physical being in the entire Marvel Universe when you really think about it. The angrier he gets, the stronger he becomes. And here's the scary part. There's absolutely no upper limit. We've seen Hulk destroy entire worlds. We've seen him fight literal gods and come out on top. In the comics, Worldbreaker Hulk nearly shattered a planet just by walking on it. That's the level of power we're talking about here. Wolverine is incredibly tough, but Hulk can rip him completely in half and throw him into orbit without even trying hard. Hulk's only real weakness is his mind. If you can somehow calm him down or take control of him psychically, you might be able to stop him. But in a straight up physical fight, almost nobody in existence can match his raw destructive power. At number 12, we have Professor X. Charles Xavier is one of the most powerful telepaths in all of existence. He can read minds instantly, control minds completely, erase memories permanently, and shut down entire armies without even lifting a single finger. In a pure mental battle, almost no one can actually beat him. He's trained the X-Men for decades, he's fought cosmic level threats, and he's one of the most influential figures in Marvel history. But Professor X does have one major weakness that holds him back: his body. He's physically extremely vulnerable to attack. If you can somehow get to him before he gets into your head, you can take him out relatively quickly. But if he's prepared and ready, if he gets to you first, the fight is over before it even starts. At number 11, we have Magneto. Eric Lenzer controls magnetism, and that sounds pretty simple until you actually realize what that means in practice. He doesn't just move random metal around. He controls electromagnetism itself. That includes the entire electromagnetic spectrum, the Earth's magnetic field, and even the iron flowing through your blood. He's ripped adamantium directly out of Wolverine's skeleton. He's levitated entire stadiums filled with people. He's held off entire armies completely by himself. Magneto is easily one of the most powerful mutants alive, and when he's operating at full power, he's genuinely a global level threat. Very few characters can actually match him when he's truly angry and focused. And now we're getting into the absolute heavy hitters. At number 10, we have Sentry. Robert Reynolds is basically Marvel's version of Superman, but with a seriously dark twist. He has the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns. That's the official description of his abilities. He can fly at incredible speeds, he has super strength that rivals almost anyone, super speed, energy projection, molecular manipulation, and near complete invulnerability. He's genuinely one of the most powerful beings on Earth. But here's the major problem: the Void. Sentry has a dark side that's just as powerful and just as dangerous as his heroic side. If the Void ever takes over completely, Sentry becomes a threat to absolutely everyone, including himself. In terms of raw power, Sentry is almost unmatched by anyone. But his mental instability and inner demons keep him from reaching the very top of this list. At number 9, we have Thor, the god of thunder himself, one of the original Avengers and still one of the most powerful beings in the entire MCU. Thor has gone against Thanos, Hela, Gore, the God Butcher, and countless other cosmic-level threats over his lifetime. With Stormbreaker in his hands, he can summon the Bifrost at will, cut through almost anything in his path, and channel absolutely insane amounts of lightning and thunder. Thor is a god in every sense of the word. He's thousands of years old, he's fought in countless wars across the cosmos, and he somehow keeps getting stronger with each challenge. He's definitely not completely invincible, but he's about as close as it gets for someone who isn't a full-on reality warper. At number 8, we have Doctor Strange. Stephen Strange is the Sorcerer Supreme, and that title means he has access to magic that bends and breaks the normal rules of reality. Time manipulation, dimension hopping, energy shields, astral projection, and spells that can affect even the most powerful beings in existence. He's fought Dormammu in the Dark Dimension, he's challenged Thanos directly, and he's protected the entire universe multiple times over. But Strange definitely has his limit. He's still fundamentally human underneath all the magic. He can be caught off guard by faster opponents. He can be overpowered by beings with stronger magic or pure chaos energy. That's exactly why the next two characters rank above him on this list. At number 7, we have Ghost Rider, and this is where things get genuinely crazy. Ghost Rider isn't just some dude with a flaming skull who rides a motorcycle. He's bonded to a spirit of vengeance, and that connection makes him almost completely unstoppable against certain types of enemies. The Penance Stare can destroy absolutely anyone who has ever felt guilt in their life. His hellfire burns the soul directly, not just the physical body. And here's the really important part: he's actually resistant to magic, including chaos magic specifically. That's absolutely huge for matchups. Ghost Rider is specifically a hard counter to characters like Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange. He can't be easily affected by most of their usual tricks, because his power comes from a completely different supernatural source. In the right matchup, Ghost Rider is genuinely nearly unbeatable. At number 6, we have Scarlet Witch. Wanda Maximoff is absolutely terrifying when she unleashes her full power. She's a reality warper at her very core, and we've already seen what she can do in the MCU. She almost killed Thanos completely by herself during the final battle. She tore through the entire Illuminati like they were nothing but paper. And in the comics, she literally rewrote all of reality with just 3 simple words: no more mutants. That's the insane kind of power we're talking about with her. She can alter probability, control minds across distances, and reshape existence itself according to her will. The only reason she's not higher on this list is because the characters above her operate on a completely different level entirely. But make absolutely no mistake, Scarlet Witch is one of the most dangerous beings in the entire Marvel universe. At number 5, we have Jean Grey as the Phoenix, and this is where we truly enter near unstoppable territory. The Phoenix Force is one of the most powerful cosmic entities in all of Marvel. It's the literal embodiment of life, death, and rebirth on a universal scale. When Jean is fully connected to that power, she becomes something far beyond Omega-level mutant classification. She can manipulate matter and energy at a cosmic level, read and control minds across entire galaxies, and destroy or create entire star systems with a thought. The only real weakness here is control. When Jean loses herself completely to the Phoenix, she becomes Dark Phoenix, and that version is a threat to literally everyone and everything in existence. But at her absolute peak, she's nearly impossible to defeat. At number 4, we have Loki. And I know exactly what you're thinking right now. Loki at number 4? Are you serious? But hear me out on this one. We're not talking about the Loki who got thrown around the room by Hulk like a rag doll. We're talking about the Loki who sat at the end of time itself, watching over the entire multiverse. The Loki who took control of the temporal loom and held all of reality together. That version of Loki has evolved far beyond anything we've ever seen from the character before. He has complete knowledge of every timeline, every variant, every single possibility that exists. He's no longer just a simple trickster god. He's become something very close to a true god of the multiverse. Against almost anyone else on this list, that version of Loki wins because he can literally see every possible outcome and manipulate every thread of fate. That's exactly why he's ranked this high. At number 3, we have King Thanos, and this is extremely important to understand. This isn't the Thanos we saw get defeated in Endgame. King Thanos is a version from a dark future timeline where Thanos won absolutely everything. He killed the Avengers, he killed all the cosmic entities, he conquered the entire universe and ruled it for centuries. King Thanos has the full completed Infinity Gauntlet and hundreds of years of experience using its power. He's fought and completely defeated beings that would absolutely stomp regular Thanos without any difficulty. In a direct confrontation, almost no one can touch him. He's far beyond cosmic level at this point. He's a universal threat that even other gods genuinely fear. That's exactly why he's sitting comfortably comfortably in the top 3. At number 2, we have Franklin Richards, the son of Reed Richards and Sue Storm, and easily one of the most powerful beings in all of Marvel Comics. Franklin is a mutant with the incredible ability to create entire universes from nothing. Not just destroy them, actually create them. He's made pocket dimensions just for fun when he was bored. He's literally rebuilt the entire multiverse after it completely collapsed. His power is so far beyond anything else we've discussed on this list that it's almost completely unfair to compare. The only reason he's not sitting at number 1 is because he's technically still a kid, and his powers can sometimes be unstable and unpredictable. But at his absolute peak, Franklin Richards is on a level that very few characters in all of fiction can even begin to comprehend. He is true multiverse tier, and that puts him above almost everyone. And finally, at number 1, we have Dr. Doom. Victor Von Doom is the main villain of Avengers Doomsday, and there's a very good reason for that. He's not just a genius on the level of Reed Richards. He's not just a sorcerer who can rival Doctor Strange in mystical power. He's both of those things combined into one person. Doom has matched Reed Richards in pure intelligence, and he's rivaled Doctor Strange in magical ability. But that's not even what puts him at the number 1 spot. What puts him at number 1 is God Emperor Doom. In the comics, Doom actually stole the power of the Beyonders, beings who exist completely beyond the multiverse itself. He literally became a god. He held all of reality in his hands. He created Battleworld and ruled over every single hero and villain as their absolute supreme ruler. Everyone bowed to Doom. If that's the direction the MCU is heading with this character, then Doom isn't just a threat to the Avengers. He's the ultimate threat, the one above all others. And that's exactly why he's number 1 on this list. For now, that's my list. If new characters get announced, we can do a part 2 with the updated roster. And if I forgot someone, or if you think a character should be higher or lower, tell me in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.